I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Before we get to the no half step in hockey coverage, first, let me tell you about our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. And once you're getting educated about the show, click on that merchandise tab. Take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck are all still available in our online store. Whether that's socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, all still available in our online store. Easier said, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this hockey operation, so here's how you can support the Renegades of Puck. It doesn't cost you a penny, and it doesn't take you a second, so please help us out on X or on Facebook or on Instagram, or perhaps even over on TikTok and Threads. So again, check us out on social media. You can also find us on YouTube, and we sure do appreciate all of our most recent subscribers. Thank you very much. Tic Taps, love, and respect to each and every one. You just search Renegades of Puck on YouTube and give us a subscription today. That would go a long way to helping you get the latest episodes of Renegades of Puck TV, all of our recap, all of our preview, and all of our other different analysis segments, all on our YouTube channel. And thanks to the Full Press Audio, Full Press Predators podcast, you can find the podcast in numerous platforms, whether that is on Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, or several other. Just search Renegades of Puck in your preferred platform today. From 2023 to 2024, the Renegades of Puck podcast went from local to global thanks to the Full Press NHL Network and the Full Press Predators podcast. Again, check us out in audio form everywhere. Venmo, that's how you can support the show financially. Make a donation by scanning the QR code or just searching Renegades of Puck in Venmo today. Every dollar goes a long way in helping the Renegades of Puck, and as you can see, we have built a fantastic facility, and that's thanks to Renegades like you watching and listening right now. Every single dollar goes directly to helping the Renegades of Puck. So we sure do appreciate Tic Taps, love, and respect all the way around for everything that you do to help make this show so much better. Now, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. Time for operation number 870. That's right. Time for show number 870. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fifth place in the Central Division with a record of 27-25-2. That means they have skated in 54 games this season. They have a total of 56 points. Their next game will take place on the road where they have a record of 13-10-2, 162 goals scored on the season, 177 goals given up. Now, that is a goal differential of minus 15. Now, the Nashville Predators' next opponent will be in the Central Division. It'll be the St. Louis Blues, who are currently in fourth place. They've skated in 53 games, one less than Nashville. They have a record of 29-22-2. 60 points has them 4 points ahead of the Preds. On the home rink, they are 16-9-1. That's a very reasonable record. They've scored 158. They've given up 163. That's a goal differential of minus 5. Since we're inside the Central Division, let's update you on the latest in the Central Division standings. The Dallas Stars are still in first place after 54 games with a record of 34-14-6. 74 points has them 4 points clear of the Colorado Avalanche and 5 points clear of the Winnipeg Jets. This is the largest separation we've seen in the three-team weave at the top of the Central Division in quite some time. Now, moving on to the Chase Pack and the wild card grouping, the St. Louis Blues in fourth place with 60 points, the Nashville Predators with 56, then Minnesota at 55 points. The Arizona Coyotes have fallen off the pace a little bit now, falling to seventh place with 50 points, and the Chicago Blackhawks continue bringing up the basement with eighth and final spot in the Central with 31 points on the season. In the wild card race, because the Nashville Predators are involved in that particular grouping, let's update you there. LA, St. Louis, each at 60 points, occupy wild card 1, wild card 2. Nashville Predators first team on the outside looking in with 56 points. Seattle has 56 points as well, but behind the Nashville Predators due to tiebreakers. Now the Nashville Predators are about to start on a season-changing, potentially 5-game road trip. The first one, of course, is St. Louis. This one we're about to break down. Then Tuesday in Vegas, Thursday in LA, Saturday at San Jose, Sunday at Anaheim. So we will see the Nashville Predators take on 5 road games in the next week plus That is going to be a heavy, heavy workload for this team. They're back on home ice 227 versus the Ottawa Senators. This season series between the Nashville Predators and St. Louis Blues, they've played one time already. They're only meeting 3 times this season. Back on November the 24th was the first and only time they met so far. It was in St. Louis, and the Preds scored the 8-3 victory. Lankinen got the victory, making 36 saves in that game. Forsberg had 2 goals and assists for 3 points. Evangelista had 2 goals and assists for 3 points. And Sherwood had a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. The next time these two teams will meet will be at Bridgestone Arena and will take place on April the 4th. I guarantee you those will be 2 critical points right there. These are 2 critical points we're talking about right now. So let's talk about the St. Louis Blues momentarily before we get into the matchup itself. In their most recent stretch of 5 games, it was back on January 30th, where it was a 1-0 loss versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Then coming back from the All-Star break, renewed and reinvigorated on the 10th of February with a 3-1 win at Buffalo, then a 7-2 win at Montreal the next day. On the 13th of February, 4-1 loss at Toronto. Most recently, on February the 15th, a 6-3 win versus the Edmonton Oilers. Taking a look inside the matchup and the numbers in the rankings for these two teams, fairly similar numbers for both of these clubs. Goals for St. Louis, 2.94 is 20th. The Nashville Predators 2.96 is 19th overall in the NHL. In the goals against category, St. Louis giving up 3.06 per game. That's 15th. The Preds giving up 3.28. That is 24th. In the shots for category, St. Louis only 28.8. That's 25th in the league. The Preds generating 31 on net per game. That is 15th. The shots against category, St. Louis is at 32, which is the 24th rated in the NHL. The Nashville Predators 30.5 against per game is 21st overall. Special teams, you'll find the Nashville Predators having the better power play by percentage in this matchup, 19.3% or 36 out of 187 opportunities. The St. Louis Blues converting at 17.3%. They are 22nd overall in the league, 28 out of 162 opportunities. On the penalty kill, St. Louis favors in this particular metric with a kill rate of 79.3%. That's 20th overall in the NHL. They've given up 29 power play goals against. The Preds are killing off 75.4%. That's 27th in the NHL, but they have given up 42 power play goals against, and that number just keeps swelling. As a matter of fact, it's quite awful at this point in time. Let's talk about the individual top scorers for each of these teams. Why don't we start with the home team, St. Louis Blues in this one. Thomas at 19 goals and 41 assists for 60 points. Impressive season up to this point. Kyrou, 18 goals and 24 assists for 42 points. Buchnevich, 18 and 24 for 42. Shen, 13 goals, 17 assists for 30 points. And Torrey Krug in the blue line, 2 goals, 25 assists for 27 overall points. Now, the Nashville Predators side of things, Philip Forsberg has fallen off the point per game pace. Now, the Nashville Predators have skated in 54 games, and Philip Forsberg is at 53 points. It is the first time in quite a long time this season that Philip Forsberg has dipped below a point per game pace. Not something you would expect in February. Forsberg, 25 goals and 28 assists, is 53 points on the season. Captain Romeo has had 11 goals and 38 assists for 49 points. Ryan O'Reilly has 19 goals, 26 assists for 45 points. Gus Nyquist, 12 and 29 for 41. Tommy Novak takes over sole possession of 5th place in scoring on the team with 11 goals and 16 assists for 27 overall points. Expected or anticipated goaltender matchup sees Jordan Binnington, 19, 14, and 2, and 909 save percentage, 2.90 goals against average, and 2 shutouts for the St. Louis Blues versus, I think it's going to end up being Kevin Lankinen. Getting started in this game, 6-4-0, 889 save percentage, 3.35 goals against after the most updated game. But UC Saros' record on the season now officially under 500 at 20, 21-2, a 901 save percentage, 3.05 goals against average. Both goaltenders played the most recent game. We'll have to see how Andrew Brunette decides to start the 5-game road trip in a pivotal game. But I think Lankinen, he picked up the victory in St. Louis back on November the 24th. I think he would be a good option to start in this game. That's got you all set up. Remember to take note of the special start time. It is an afternoon game in St. Louis, so that's got you all set up. Nashville Predators at St. Louis Blues, the first of 5 on the road. It is a make or break road trip for this Nashville Predators team. Talk about breaking. We got to go back and talk about that last game on the homestand. It was against the Dallas Stars. It's called the Reverse Sports Full Game Recap, and it's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Go all the way back February 15th of the year 2024, when the Nashville Predators were facing off against the Dallas Stars at Bridgestone Arena. Head coach Andrew Burnett deployed his lines and defensive combinations in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist; Novak, Sissons, and Glass; Trennan, McCarron, and Smith; Afanasiev, Jankowski, and Goryanov. So some new shakeups and combinations there. Yossi and Barry, McDonough and Shen, Luzon and Carey, your defensive pairings. UC Saros gets the starting goal for the Nashville Predators. We are only 35 seconds into the game, and it is stealing the puck and getting his 7th goal. That was a good one, wasn't it? His 7th goal of the season for the Dallas Stars. It's honestly the first play of the game, and it leads to a bad turnover in the neutral zone. Some lackluster effort getting back in defensive zone coverage, and the Dallas Stars, just like that, lead 1-0 at 3:28 of the first period. UC Saros makes a save on Robertson at the 4:27 mark of the first period. Matt Duchene, yes, that Matt Duchene gets his 20th goal of the season, making it 2-0 in favor of the Dallas Stars. A very tough first 4.5 minutes for the Nashville Predators. 5:28 into the first period. UC Saros coming with a save on Hakanpää at the 6:16 mark. The first hits UC Saros coming with a save on Joe Pavelski at 8:36. UC Saros comes up with a save on Ben's backhand scoring opportunity at the 10:01 mark. Saros comes up with a save on Pavelski. We are halfway through the period. The Dallas Stars are absolutely dominating in this game. At 10:37 of the first period, UC Saros comes with a save on Dellandrea at the 12:31 mark of the first. It is Smith. Yes, Craig Smith. That Craig Smith with his 7th goal of the season. 3-0 now in favor of the Dallas Stars at the 13:46 mark of the first period. UC Saros coming up with a save on Robertson at the 13:48 mark of the first period. It is Jake Ottinger. Yes, that's right. The first time I've said Jake Ottinger's name in this game. Coming with a save on Shen. It's the first shot on goal for the Nashville Predators. Quite the loud Bronx cheer coming out of the stands at Bridgestone Arena. Short-lived celebration on that first shot on goal for the Nashville Predators, though, because at 15:53, it's Johnston putting his 16th goal of the season into the net and giving the Dallas Stars a 4-0 lead at Bridgestone Arena. At the 18-minute mark of the first period, UC Saros would make his final save of the game when he stops Tyler Seguin at the end of the first period. We would see the Nashville Predators put to an end one of the worst 20-minute stretches the Nashville Predators have had easily all season, and maybe an all-timer. Down 4-0, outshot 18-1. UC Saros calls it a night. Kevin Lankinen comes into the game. We are 10 seconds into the second period, and Jake Ottinger comes up with a save on Ryan McDonough. In the first 10 seconds of the second period, the Nashville Predators have as many shots on goal as they had in the entirety of the first period. 14 seconds into the second period, Ottinger coming with a save on Afanasiev. So 14 seconds into the second period, the Predators have doubled their shot production from the first period. At the 42nd mark of the second period, Ottinger comes with a save on Michael McCarron. At the 51-second mark, Ottinger a save on Shen plus the follow-up. So see, the Nashville Predators are showing that they can, in fact, and are capable of generating some offense in this game against the Dallas Stars. The 4:14 mark of the second period, it's Lankinen back to work with his first save of the period, and that's going to come on Johnston. But at 4:40 of the second period, it's going to be Heiskanen with his 6th goal of the season. That makes it 5-0 in favor of the Dallas Stars. At the 5:46 mark of the second period, it's Ottinger coming with a save on Ryan McDonough. At 7:10 of the second period, it's Lankinen coming up with a save on Smith. At the 7:35 mark of the second, Hakanpää off the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Our first penalty of the game in a game that's at 5-0. You would expect there to be some special teams play involved, but this is the first power play of the game for the Nashville Predators, an opportunity to get their offense going. Ottinger is going to come up with a big save on Glass. He's also going to stop Novak. Predators will use the momentum coming off of that power play to generate some more offense at 5-on-5 hockey. And at 9:50 of the second period, it's Cole Smith coming up with his 6th goal of the season, getting the Nashville Predators on the board and breaking the shutout. 5-1 now in favor of the Dallas Stars. At the 10:23 mark of the second period, it's Cole Smith picking up a penalty, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. So just 30 seconds after Cole Smith puts the puck in the net to get the Nashville Predators on the board, Cole Smith is picking up a penalty, and this came from a situation where it appeared that he was high-sticked behind his own net by Ryan Suter, emphatically throws his glove, has some choice words for the officials, and ends up with a 2-minute penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. To be honest with you, it's something that just simply cannot happen in this situation. Tyler Seguin is going to cash in on the power play, getting his 20th goal of the season for the Dallas Stars, making this game 6-1. So Cole Smith gives a goal and then takes one away by taking a terrible penalty. The Nashville Predators now find themselves down 6-1. The 11:21 mark of the second period, it's Tommy Novak picking up his 11th goal of the season. All he does is make plays, and good for the Nashville Predators to continue fighting back. Now the offensive floodgates are wide open. Dallas leads 6-2 here in the second period. We flip over to the backside of the sheet. We go to the 11:35 mark of the second period. We find Lankinen coming with a save on Rupe Hintz. At the 12:53 mark, Lankinen comes with a save on Delandry. At 14:43 of the second period, Lankinen comes with a save on Heiskanen. At 15:10, Ottinger back to work, coming with a save on Glass. Clearly, the Dallas Stars gaining some momentum after the Nashville Predators' second goal. They did not like the Preds trying to claw their way back into this one. 16:24 into the second period, Ottinger comes with a save on the captain Romaniosi. 17:44 the second, Lankinen comes with a save on Radek Fox. 18:37, Ottinger a save on Forsberg. And at 19:47 of the second period, Matt Duchene picks up his second goal of the game, now 21 on the season. He played some guitar at Tootsie's, picked up a couple goals at Bridgestone Arena, and got on out of town with a couple of points in this one. Is the Dallas Stars leading at the end of two periods, 7-2. The remarkable thing for the Nashville Predators is they do have 22 shots on goal at the end of two periods, which means they picked up 21 shots on goal in the second. Dallas has 33 for the game, so the Predators being outshot 33-22 after two. We start the third period with Jake Ottinger checking out of this game and Wedgwood checking into this game. Totally different circumstances how we got to both backup goaltenders. Wedgwood gets an opportunity, 1:25 into the third period. He comes up with a save on Glass, and then at the 2:34 mark, it's Lankinen coming up with a save on Smith. At the 3:50 mark of the third period, it's Delandria's second goal of the season. This makes it 8-2 in favor of the Dallas Stars. At the 4:12 mark of the third period, it's Ben picking up penalty. 2 minutes for boarding on Luzon. Wedgwood would come up with a save on Forsberg, but that would be it for the Nashville Predators power play. Now, a situation would arise as soon as Ben gets out of the penalty box. McCarron goes immediately after him and picks up 4 minutes for roughing and a misconduct. That would be the end of the night for Michael McCarron. Johnston would pick up a power play goal, his 17th of the season. So for the second time in this game, the Nashville Predators take bad penalty, end up giving up a power play goal against. That makes the score 9-2. Yes, 9 in favor of the Dallas Stars at Bridgestone Arena. Again, another situation that simply cannot happen. Bad penalties eating up this Predators team. 11:14 into the third period. It's Wedgwood coming up with a save on Mark Jankowski at the 15:04 mark of the third period. Wedgwood again coming up with another save on Jankowski. Just wanted to point out that Mark Jankowski was still hustling, giving effort, and generating some offense here, even when the game was well out of reach. At the 17-minute mark of the third period, it would be Wedgwood coming up with a save on Glass. And at the 19:15 mark of the third period of this game, it's Wedgwood coming up with a save on Gurionov. Hey, Gurionov's there. And that's going to do it for this hockey game. This wraps things up at Bridgestone Arena. The Dallas Stars absolutely blow out the Nashville Predators 9-2. This game was never in doubt. It was 4-0 after the first period. The Predators with only one shot on goal in the first period. Preds do rebound to get a reasonable shots on goal total at the end of the game of 29, but the Dallas Stars have 41. And again, the Nashville Predators just absolutely looked terrible on the home rink. They could have had any historical goaltender Hall of Famer of all time in net. They could have had all of them at the same time. And with that defensive effort and the efforts they put on their home rink last night, they would not have found a way to win this game. Giving up 9 goals against is just absolutely a devastating night on the rink. It's just so much worse. The first period of this game is one of the worst. I think it's on the list for worst periods of all time in franchise history. Outshot 18-1. Your starting goaltender ends up getting pulled, and you end up giving up 4 goals. It's not the way you wanted to come out against the Dallas Stars. The Preds had played really good. The Preds were 15 seconds away this season from being 3-0 against the Dallas Stars. And in this game, it looked like the Predators had never had a chance to play against or to beat the Dallas Stars at any point in time. So, again, wrapping this thing up, the Nashville Predators fall 9-2 on home ice, get outshot 41-29. Very, very little positives coming out of this one. The coach clearly very frustrated, had some choice words for the players about checking into hockey and getting away from their vacations, their lives, and whatever else it is that's distracting them right now. But Andrew Burnett is clearly pissed. We we've got so much more to talk about when it comes to this game. It was a 9-2 blowout, but there's a lot of fallout from this game, and we've got to discuss. That's coming up in the next segment in the analysis portion. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. That was a tough 10 minutes for the Nashville Predators fan base. This is the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. I know that was not an easy 10 minutes right there during the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We're going to try to remain clinical and analytical and not get too emotional here when it comes to breaking this down. Let's start in net where we always do in the analysis portion of things. UC Saros, Kevin Lankinen each played in this game. Saros played 20 minutes. Lankinen played 40 minutes. Saros was 14 out of 18. He gave up 4 goals against in what is easily one of the worst periods for the Nashville Predators possibly ever. Lankinen, 40 minutes of gameplay, 18 out of 23. He gave up 5 goals against. And you know what? The Nashville Predators could have had Dominik Hasek. They could have had Patrick Waugh. They could have had Jacques Plante. They could have had Terry Sawchuk. It would not have made a difference. The Predators would not have won this game. This was not the goaltending fault. This was just a brutal defensive effort. When your starting goaltender gives a 4, your backup goaltender gives a 5, it's not the net minding. It was the team on the ice in front of the Predators were just brutal, and it all started just a few seconds into the game on the first play when you saw the turnover and the lackluster follow-up and defensive effort to get back. It just showed a bad sign of things to come. And now I'm going to talk about Tommy Novak doing something good because, you know, all he does is make plays. He scored a goal in this game. It's great to see Tommy Novak now at 11 goals. He's moved into 5th on the team, scoring 27 points on the season. And you know what? He was perhaps the only bright spot for the Predators, to be honest with you, in this game. And it's great to see Tommy Novak coming out of that offensive slumber that he was in now a couple of games in a row where he has put up some good offensive performances, and that is good to see. So let's take away that positive, and then let's take away Cole Smith's positive of scoring a goal before we flip over and start talking about a whole lot of other stuff. Smith does pick up a goal. He picked up the first goal of the game for the Predators, but then 33 seconds later picks up the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and it's something that can't happen. Listen, it sucks. It does appear that he got high-sticked or at least bizarrely hit in the face, enough to cause a slight cut, a small cut, a little bit of blood, and he was clearly pissed. He's frustrated. The game wasn't going the Preds' way, but you can't throw your glove, and you can't mouth off to the referee to the level that Cole Smith did. The referees will allow you a certain degree of complaining and protesting against the call against you or against the play, but you can't go as far as Cole Smith did. He showed up the officials on the ice by throwing his glove the way he did, bounced off the glass, and then that was a 2-minute unsportsmanlike, and that cost the Predators a goal right there. So for Cole Smith, he giveth and taketh away in a span of 33 seconds for this Nashville Predators team. And again, he's a veteran, he's a grinder, he's a bottom 6 guy. It's something that cannot happen. He can't hurt his team by getting frustrated and emotional the way he did. Alex Carey picked up an assist in this game, also skated 20 minutes and 10 seconds of time on ice. Just thought that was worth mentioning here in this situation. Now, let's talk about Fabro, Sherwood, Evangelista all being the healthy scratches in this game. Listen, Dante Fabro, maybe for him the best thing could have been being a healthy scratch, because obviously giving up 9 goals against in that putrid defensive effort wasn't Dante Fabro's fault, and he's got the easy claim to say, hey, put me back in the lineup. How could it possibly get any worse than it was right there. So Dante Fabro, I'd really like to see him back in the lineup coming on Saturday. Sherwood, he grinds away and he plays out there and he does a decent job. Maybe he doesn't put up the production that some people would like to see, but Sherwood's not been the problem. And getting the healthy scratch in favor of a player like Gurionov, I just don't see Gurionov as being a part of this team moving forward. Luke Evangelista being a healthy scratch puzzles me. Luke Evangelista is not the most consistent offensive player yet, but he's a developing and getting better offensive player all the time. And Luke Evangelista needs to be on the ice, needs to be playing. If this is a rebuild team and a youth movement, then he needs to be out there on the rink playing hockey, not sitting in the press box. So kind of disappointed to see Fabro and Evangelista especially as healthy scratches in this game. I hope they both return to the lineup in St. Louis. I hope that they are motivated, renewed, and refreshed and ready to go, and that they bring the jam, and that they make a difference in the next game. Because, this is what happened with the Nashville Predators in this most recent game. All the players on the ice, everybody deserves a healthy scratch after that one. Everybody deserves a healthy scratch after that one. But you can't, if you just bring Fabro, Sherwood, and Evangelista back, you can't healthy scratch the whole lineup. So we'll see what the lineup changes are for Saturday. But, for these players that sat out, probably good for them to miss out on the horror show of being on the ice for this one. And, Andrew Burnett was pissed, said the players need to focus on the game, need to stop thinking about vacation, need to stop thinking about things that are off the ice. And you know what? As a head coach, he's not flawless so far. He's made some mistakes. He admitted that bag skating the team the other day didn't get the attention or the effort that he wanted against New Jersey, that some of the other things he's done and tried have not exactly worked out. And as a first-year rookie head coach, we as media who cover and the fan base has to be at least a little bit more patient, or at least a little more understanding in the fact that this head coach is a rookie head coach. He is going to have to experiment with certain players, line combinations, call-ups, whatever it is, to try to find the combination of players to move forward with under his style as Andrew Brunett's group. Remember, the Predators are still very much in a transition phase, and as difficult as it is to absolutely get your ass beaten at your own rink the way that they did, this is still a transition phase with a first-year head coach, a first-year GM, a lot of moving parts, and a lineup that you see now that is probably not the lineup that is going to be what gets the Predators and Andrew Brunette going in the right direction. Now, what they have right now is what they're going to have to go with. Now, the trade deadline is approaching. The Nashville Predators may want to consider making some moves. I'm telling you right now, if the Preds come back home only picking up maybe 3 out of 10 points on this 5-game road trip, then they absolutely need to sell and try to be as productive at selling as they were last year at the trade deadline. One more cycle like that could truly get the Nashville Predators into a more competitive place. They're in a competitive place right now, but they're not at a competitive place that they need to go all in and start trying to bring in veterans at the sacrifice of the youth's ice time and to try to make a run at a wild card spot. If it happens, it happens. But the Nashville Predators may need to consider taking the 2 or 3 most valuable tradable assets that they have and moving on. And one of them, of course, would be UC Saros, and the fan base would be disappointed in seeing that happen. But if UC Saros could get traded at the trade deadline and bring back a Tanner Jeannot-like haul from last season, then the Nashville Predators are well on their way into becoming a much more competitive team. And do you want to see UC Saros fail as a Nashville Predators goaltender time and time again, like we've seen this year, to a record of 20, 21, and 2? Or do you want to see the Nashville Predators get a whole bunch of prospects, good young players, and begin progressing with Andrew Brunette to the next phase of things, which ultimately will see the franchise goaltender of Yaroslav Askarov, who is absolutely the future of this team? Do not be deceived for a second. I want Askarov to finish the season in Milwaukee and win a championship in the AHL before coming up to Nashville full-time. But there is absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind that he is the future of this Nashville Predators franchise. That means that UC Saros is expendable. As difficult as that is to hear, when Askarov was drafted, everybody knew one day UC Saros was going to become an expendable asset for this Nashville Predators team. Maybe trading high at the end of last season would have been the best time to do it, but he is still quite the commodity and still quite valuable. So for Andrew Brunette, he's pissed. He needs to know what he's got out there on the rink. He's trying all kinds of different things. He's experimenting with things. No, I don't think he's lost the team. I just think it's a rebuilding team that was overperforming expectations the first half of the seasons and now are starting to fall back a little bit. Can they turn it around? They have shown that they can have stretches over a course of 15, 18, 19 games where they play amongst the top teams in the NHL. Get another stretch like that here towards the end of the season, and you'll find yourself in the playoffs. But right now, the Preds are slipping and sliding out of each and every race. In the Central, they're down to 5th place now and 18 points out of first. They've never been that far out of first all season long. 13 points out of third, which is an automatic qualifying spot, and they're now falling behind by 4 points in the wild card. If they continue slipping over the course of this road trip, then there is no doubt the Predators need to sell, need to continue letting the youth play, and need to get the ice time. And next year, start planning on being a more competitive team as you start to break in a brand new franchise goaltender in Yaroslav Askarov. That's going to do it for the analysis. I told you we were going to keep it clinical and we were going to keep the emotion out of it. So wanted to talk to you about all of that right there, but let's hear from Stripe Digital. Then we'll come back. We'll get the box score in. Then we'll close this show out. We'll move on to Saturday afternoon in St. Louis.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in, Renegades of Puck podcast. It is now time for the good cold hard numbers known as the box score. When it comes to goal scores for this Nashville Predators team, Tommy Novak picks up a goal. Cole Smith picks up a goal. When it comes to assists, Michael McCarron had one of those. Nyquist had one of those. And Alex Carey also had one assist in this game. Shots on goal. Team leader was Cody Glassen's game with 5. Luke Shen with 3 in this game. And Philip Forsberg also generated 3. When it comes to the physical component of things, no surprise whatsoever to hear that Jeremy Lauzon had 6 hits in this game to continue his torrid pace towards the NHL record. We'll start tracking that once he gets just a little bit closer, a little bit better. Cole Smith had 5 hits in this game, and Afanasyev had 4 hits in this game. When it comes to time on ice leaders, it was 15:50 for Ryan O'Reilly, and then 15:29 for Afanasyev, and then we see 15:20 for Goriano, 15:10 for Smith. As you can see, 15:02 for Tommy Novak, 15:07 for Jankowski. As you can see, there was no reason not to just roll 4 lines. This game was over by the end of the first period. So for Andrew Brunette, it's a good job there not burning out his top-end forwards. No reason to, and letting some of the youth, some of the call-ups, get some opportunities to play, especially in the third period when the game was completely and devastatingly out of reach. On the defensive side of things, the captain, Roman Josi, still led in normal 23-34. That's not too much of a workload for him. 21-37 for Ryan McDonough, 20-10 for Alex Carey. When it comes to the power play, the Nashville Predators were 0 for 2 in this game. Power play time on ice leaders, 2:23 for Glass, 2:21 for O'Reilly, 2:35 for Philip Forsberg, and then 2:38 for the captain, Roman Josi, and 2:26 for Tyson Barrie. And Barrie was supposed to be an injection to help this power play, and I'm struggling to see where that is happening. On the PK, the Preds not so great in this game. 1 out of 3, and their PK leaders, since they weren't on the PK all that long, since they were giving up goals, 112 for that's Afanasyev, and 122 for Mark Jankowski. They could not keep the Dallas Stars off the board. 210 for McDonough, 132 for Lauzon. When it comes to the netminders, it was Lankinen, 18 out of 23, 5 goals against. Saros, 14 out of 18, 4 goals against. In-game save percentages, 783 and 778. Those are awful. But again, it was not the netminders' fault in this one. Hasek, Waugh, Plot, Sawchuk, none of them. Pagarene, none of them would have saved the Predators in this game. You get all of them playing at the same damn time. None of them would have stopped it. Tough one. The rest of the box score. Face-off winning percentage. You know what? A low-key positive point to say. Since Novak and Glass moved to the wing a couple games ago, the Predators face-off winning percentage is up 55.7% in this game. And I feel like that's perhaps setting those players up to succeed a little bit more, taking some of the pressure. Playing center has a lot of added responsibility, so taking the pressure of face-offs and some of the two-way responsibilities off of their shoulders for now, I think is probably a low-key positive for this team. And the face-off winning percentage is certainly reflecting that 55.7%. 30 hits is a good high number, but 12 block shots, not a whole lot for this Nashville Predators team. That's pretty low. 3 takeaways just shows you they weren't being very hard on the jam. They weren't really hawking that puck all night long. 12 giveaways shows you how careless they were with the puck. That is a bad right there. Bad number. 12 giveaways. All right, let's close this thing out. 9-2. We've talked about it. We've covered it. We've given you all the facts. We've given you all the numbers. We've given you all the stats. We've given you some analysis and opinions. It's so bad it choked me up. For this Nashville Predators team, though, what's the single most important thing that's going to happen right now is that they get back to practice, get on the road, and over the course of this 5-game road trip, they take care of business. I think they need to come away with 7 out of 10 points on this road trip to realistically keep the idea of being a chase team for the playoffs alive. After all, after the next 5 games, the Predators will be at 59 games played on the season. We'll be approaching 20 games remaining on the year. The Predators have absolutely winnable games in Anaheim and San Jose. LA is going to be very difficult. The Predators went in there and scored a victory in LA last time. Vegas, always a tough building. St. Louis, I feel, is a must-win just because of where the Predators and the Blues are in relation to the Central Division standings and also the wild card chase pack. So the Nashville Predators, I think, need to find a way to come away with 7 out of the 10 points on this road trip. I think it is a make or break from the front office to the coaching staff to the players on the ice. I think it's a make or break 5-game span for this Nashville Predators team. They won in St. Louis the first time they played there, and these points are going to be absolutely critical. If the Preds don't come back with at least half the points, say if they only come back with 3 out of 10 points, then it is absolutely time for Barry Trotz to engage in a very aggressive way. I have no doubt that he's working the phones probably as we're sitting here recording this episode, trying to figure out and make some deals and what is possible. You know, we talked about with the New Jersey Devils being in town and Fitzgerald saying that he's talked to Barry Trotz about UC Saros a couple of times. So there's no doubt in my mind that if the Predators don't have a successful 5-game road trip, that they are going to come back and probably start selling immediately. Last night's game is the type of game that usually gets somebody traded or fired. Right now, with a coaching staff in its first year, nobody's getting fired, but somebody might end up getting traded within the next day or two. We'll have to keep it covered right here in the bunker. That's going to do it for Operation Number 870. As frustrating as it was to watch a 9-2 blowout, it was one of those things where I'm not going to get overreactionary, over-emotional about it. The Predators still technically have a winning record, are still reasonably within reach of a playoff spot, and they have proven at stretches of this time this season that they can rebound from these terrible 2-3 week stretches and then have incredible 2-3 week stretches. We'll have to continue to track it. This next 5 games on the road is an opportunity to simplify, quiet the noise, get out there and get back to playing as good a hockey as you can possibly play. Now that everybody's had the frustration and blown it up, let's go ahead and get organized, get back on the rink, and cover this next one. Saturday in St. Louis. We'll be back in the bunker early on Saturday evening, and we'll be here on Sunday with a full episode recapping everything that happened on Saturday night with the entirety of the NHL since, you know, everything is stacked on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I mean, I wish there was more of a even distribution. We could have like 5-6 games every night of the week. It would be so much better. We could all of us hockey-obsessed maniacs watch so many more games if the NHL would just cooperate in the scheduling department with doing something like that. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Renegades of Puck, Operation Number 870 in the book. Your host, your captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Hey, I scored a goal last night in our game for the Renegades of Puck, 6-1 win over the Woolies. I'll update you on the team soon. Operation 870 is in the book. Stick taps, love, and respect.